Hey guys, what is up? This is Cody, or xCodeh. How's it going today? On today's video, I'm bringing back a highly requested series that I used to have on my YouTube channel that was relatively successful. I feel like this is one of the series that helped me grow when I was in my early stages of a YouTuber, so I'm bringing back the stoner tips. And I know some of you guys in the comments have been kind of saying like, oh, you're just remaking the old content, but wait, alright, let me just stop you right there, okay? Because these stoner tips, they're going to be updated because I made those videos in like, what, 2016? It's 2019 now, bro. So much has changed, especially when it comes to like stoner tips. The first episode on this stoner tips revamp is going to be all about how to hide that you're smoking weed, how to be incognito, how to make it seem like you're not that type of dude. You'd never do something like that. So I've been smoking weed for about 9 years now. I think next year will be the good 10 years that I've been smoking weed for 10 years. Can't wait to say that. So I've been smoking weed for about 9 years, and for the first couple years that I smoked, I was relatively paranoid about getting caught because I was really young. I started smoking around like 13, 14 years old. I really got into it when I was like 14 or 15, but you know, when you're that young, especially, you don't want anybody knowing, especially your parents. You don't want anybody finding out. And hopefully you're not in that situation because that's really young to be smoking weed. It really is young. Like, I know you got your parents, you got your teachers selling, oh, weed is bad, don't be doing it. It really is something that's easier to do when you're a little bit older. So let's just get one thing right off the bat, okay? One thing. The smell of it. The hardest thing you could possibly hide because it smells like a skunk's anus times a million, especially to the person who doesn't smoke, who hasn't smoked in years since they were a kid. Their nose is like a bloodhound. People who don't smoke anything could honestly be trained to smell drugs. Like, it is that intense. Like, say, you know how scary the ocean is, and if you're swimming in it, you cut your leg, you got a little blood going, sharks are gonna smell it from like miles away. It's exactly how it is. And on my previous stoner tips, I recommended this one brand of air deodorizer called Ozium, and I have to say right now, okay, I have to retract that statement. All right, I feel terrible, absolutely terrible. Out of like all the videos that I've made on YouTube, that's one of the ones I feel terrible about because I didn't really know enough about it at the time. I didn't really read, because like, who reads the side of the bottle? Okay, who reads all that stuff? When you eat everything, do you read it all? Maybe some of you do, but anyways, apparently it's very harmful to your lungs and pets like cats and dogs, and you're supposed to spray it and leave the room for 20 minutes. So I didn't know that at the time, so I always would recommend that because Ozium works, dude. Okay, if you have a room smelling like dank, you spray that shit, leave the room, add that part in, make sure you leave the room. It's not smelling like anything after that. It's smelling like fresh oranges. That shit works, dude. Now, I'm not sponsored by them, and I don't want to be after I found out that it's bad for your pets because I'm not trying to hurt my cat at all. There's an assortment of sprays and things that you can buy, but realistically, if you're really trying to hide the smell, like altogether, do not smoke inside. That is my advice to you. Do not smoke. Like, no matter how many like different devices you have to keep the smell down, literally just opening the bag up, breaking it up in your hands, that alone will make the whole room smell if you got dank. Unless you're busting down mids or something, and I feel bad for you. So I was editing this video and I completely forgot to put one of the most important parts about hiding the smell of your weed, and it's all about what you keep it in, okay? If you just have like a plastic bag in your dresser or something, it's gonna reek that whole side of the room up. You really want to get something, and that is a mason jar. You can get them off Amazon, you can get them probably at Walmart. You gotta make sure it's the Ball brand, okay? I don't know if any other brands that are super good, but I can just tell you right now that the Ball brand is snazzy. What makes a mason jar special over just any other kind of container is this part of the top comes off, and this actually seals the jar and makes it airtight, which is what you want. Now, if you're using one of these for long-term use, you're going to want to get like a humidipack or one of those humidity packs. There's an assortment of different brands of those you can get, but I'll put pictures on screen of what I'm talking about. And I'll also throw some Amazon links in the description if you guys are interested in that. And if you're the kind of person to cop like large amounts of weed, maybe the mason jar isn't, it's not big enough for you, you can actually go and get turkey bags. I think it's the bags that you literally can cook turkeys in. I would assume that's why they're called turkey bags, but you could fit, I think, well over a pound in one of those, and just wrap it up, tie the bag, and it doesn't even smell. It's incredible. It's magic, honestly. It's literally a magic bag. But your best bet would definitely be the Ball mason jar. Worth your money. I would strongly recommend bringing it outside if you can. Now, for the people who are going to say, fuck that, it's cold outside, or I'm not going outside to smoke, I do have some tips for you. So you can make it a contraption called a sploof. I don't know if there's anything else that's a word for it. It's a really weird device. But anyways, so whoever created this is just a man of the people, okay? Absolute legend. We should have him in the history books. You take an empty toilet paper or paper towel roll, either of them works, just a cardboard little tube that they come in. You take a couple dryer sheets and you stuff that full of it, and then you take one dryer sheet, kind of wrap it around one of the ends, and then put a rubber band around it, or you could tape it, either or. And when you take a hit, you blow it through this tube filled with dryer sheets, and I swear to you, no smoke comes out, and if it does, it's smelling like fresh laundry, dog. Fresh laundry. It's making the room smell better than it did before. And it's basically free, because, like, you probably have that stuff in your house. Or you can also get, like, one of those smoke buddy things. Not sponsored, alright? I wish. I feel like I'm gonna get demonetized to say this. It almost kind of looks like a little frag grenade or something like that, that opens up at the top, and you just blow the smoke through it, and same thing. Actually, I think from my experiences with that, it didn't really smell like dry laundry, or clean laundry, clean laundry. It just kind of smelled like nothing, like literally nothing. You blow out and there'd be nothing. That's definitely an option. Another thing I'd say for the hiding the smell is do not ever, ever smoke joints or blunts inside. You smoke a blunt inside, it's gonna smell like you're smoking cigarettes and weed inside. It's not gonna smell like grapes, blueberries, vanilla. It's not gonna smell like any of that. It's gonna smell like cigarettes and weed. Another thing, okay. Another huge thing, this is like something you need to know. All sprays, like deodorants, usually have an alcohol-based spray to them, or just it has alcohol in the ingredients. You want to check the bottle. If you spray that, it's gonna intensify the weed. It's not only gonna make the room smell like shit because you're spraying half the can of cologne everywhere, that shit is gonna smell even worse. Like, someone's gonna walk in the room, and they're gonna be like, why? I'd rather it just smell like weed. This smells horrible. So be very careful about that. Axe spray is a no-go. Ever. Okay, ever. And now, considering it's 2019, as I said in the beginning of this video, here is an updated tip right here. And it's also something you have to be very careful about, and I think I'm going to make an entire stoner tips video just about them. I just really need to learn as much as I can about it so I can make like a video with a lot of valid information. So carts are very low-key. You know, you got kids doing them in the bathroom and in the middle of class. I do not recommend that. You'll get arrested, go to jail. Not worth it at all. But, you know, if you're at home and you're just busting one down in the room, blowing it out the window, it really doesn't smell all that bad. It does smell a little sweet. There's like, someone walks in the room and they're like suspecting you of doing it or something. They're gonna, what is that sweet smell? And then, you know, they're gonna put two and two together in their minds. But if it's someone who doesn't know what that is, or, you know, if you blow it out the window, it really doesn't smell all that much, because when it's a vaporized substance, it doesn't linger in the air like smoke does. So it kind of just dissipates. But why I told you to be careful is because I'm sure, at least I hope some of you guys are aware of this. There's a lot of fake carts going around right now with pesticides, with untested distillate in them. You just really got to be careful of where you're buying it from. Even some stuff from dispensaries, dude. All right, so be very careful. Make sure it says lab tested, and maybe even look into the brand to see if they're doing small batch lab testing and not huge vats and just scooping off the top. You don't want to be busting down pesticides, dog. So my next topic I got is eye drops. A very common stoner tip. Like, everybody knows about this, but I've come to you to tell you that there's something better than Visine, if you've ever been used that. If you ever got the cheap dollar store like Eyedrops, and those work, and Visine works, but there's something better. If you got the extra Skrilla, they're expensive as fuck, okay? They're small too. You're paying a lot of money for something small. Not sponsored, I wish. Rotos, okay? I believe that's how you pronounce it. They're called Rotos, dude. You drop that shit in your eye, you could be baked as hell. Take a gram dab. You're like, not even be able to see straight, all right? You drop those in your eyes, it's like liquid nitrogen on your eyeballs. It feels like you're in a -40 Antarctica snowstorm. It makes your eyes go from beet red, redder than the devil's dick, to white as a dinner plate, dude. It honestly makes it look a little too white. Like, it's honestly suspicious how white your eyes look. It almost looks like there's no veins at all. It's a little creepy if you ask me, but damn, does it work. So any eye drops work and is recommended if that works for you. Some people's eyes it doesn't even work on, but Rotos. I haven't used eye drops in years just because it doesn't, you know, I don't need to, but it's just something to think about. Another thing you can do to hide not you know, everybody knowing that you smoke weed all the time is not posting on social media that you're smoking all the time, because eventually it could go down the grapevine and end up in the wrong, you know, the wrong person will see it, okay? And that's very important these days, especially, you know, you apply to a really good college or sign up for a big job application, you know, big money. They're going to be looking at all your social media, dude. So if you're 16 years old smoking a huge blunt on Snapchat or on Facebook or some crazy shit, they're going to be like, oh, about that. Yes, no. Definitely a good tip, because I guarantee your parents and coworkers are looking at your social media. And another tip that I have, it kind of goes along with the smell a little bit. I probably should have added it in there. Honestly, I might post edit. Probably not, though. I would really only stick to like joints if you're trying to hide the smell, because if you've got a bowl sitting in your room, that whole area of the room is going to smell like weed. To the person that doesn't smoke especially, I'm telling you, dude, they got nose like vultures. They'll just drop down from the sky at you. And when you're smoking a joint, you know, you got a roach and you just throw it away. It's gone. I couldn't tell you how many times my dad found my stash because of my bowl, because it just smells so ridiculous. Oh, and another thing, okay, if you're on the joints or the blunts, dude, never, ever walk inside with a roach in your pocket. Never. That's game over. That smells 50 times stronger than if you were smoking it right next to the person you're trying to hide it from. It smells unbelievably strong. Like, I can't even express it enough how already burned weed smells. Just, it's out of this world. Another thing you could do to kind of be low-key is to not wear like Rasta belts, Bob Marley shirts. I mean, if you like Bob Marley, that's one thing. But if you're wearing you know what shirts I'm talking about. Don't even. All right, listen. Maybe chill on the tapestries in your room. Maybe not wear drug rugs, that kind of thing. Because if you're doing any of that, you know what the assumption is. It sucks that we live in a society that, you know, people who smoke are looked down upon. But these are some tips to try to help that, all right, dude? If you guys want to send me any, like, stoner tip things that you want me to elaborate and make a video on, feel free, and I'll shout you out if I make a video on that topic, obviously. I'm sorry this video is a little bit unstructured. I was kind of thinking all of the stuff on the spot. I usually write it down a little bit here, but gave you tips on how to hide the smell, okay? Use the sploof. Don't smoke inside if you can. Absolutely not. Carts that have a good source, okay? Don't be leaving nasty bowls around your room, and never walk inside with a roach. And make sure you look at the bottle, okay? If you're ever going to use sprays or anything like that, if it's got alcohol in it, it's going to make it a billion times worse. And then the good old Rotos, all right, dude? The good old Rotos. They're like $7 for that little bottle. I'm going to say it. It's expensive for that. It's like 10 milliliters. I'm hyping them up so much. Hit me up, Rotos, all right, dude? Let me end this video off with a volcano bag, all right? So I really hope you guys enjoyed this Stoner Tips episode. These are videos I always loved making because I like helping you guys out. I have a couple topics that I am very passionate about that's going to be for upcoming episodes. I'll give you guys a little hint, okay? One of them's about buying glass, because that's one of the biggest hustles in the stoner market, okay, for stoner accessories and all that jazz. And another one I want to talk about is how to not get ripped off when you buy that Kush. Because I know I made that video, okay, I know I made it a couple years ago, but things have changed a lot. Things have changed for the worse, okay? It's gotten even worse in some places, but better in a lot others, so yeah, I want everybody to follow my cat on Instagram. It's very important. It's super, super important. He just reached over 40,000 followers. I'm so proud, okay? He's making moves. Bentley's going in for a teeth cleaning tomorrow morning, hoping that's going to go all splendid. He had some mild gingivitis on his teeth, so on his gum lines there, so trying to get that sorted out and everything. I feel bad, all right? That must suck. His breath smells like the plague. Horrible. It wakes me up sometimes. I'm sleeping there and he's just meowing in my face, just breathing. He's like this close to my face because he wants to eat. It's like 5:30 in the morning. Not time to eat, but you know what? The cat's hungry, so he's going to be there. And he's just sitting there meowing, breathing, and it smells horrible. So we're getting that sorted out tomorrow. And apparently I'm going to have to brush his teeth with a finger brush. That's going to be fun. Hopefully he's okay with that. He's a real stubborn cat, so I'm hoping for the best. But how did this video turn into this? I feel like Bentley's life is just as relevant to anything I could talk about in a YouTube video, so yeah. I love the volcano vaporizer. I just wanted to let you guys know. I really do. Woo! Okay. Hopefully I can keep doing this. Doing this at the end of the video. And I hope you guys have a nice day, okay? Thank you for watching. Hopefully you got some helpful tips. Follow my cat on Instagram. Stay high, stay lifted, and stay snazzy. Peace.